Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video because I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing another one of your guys' shops. And I love that every shop I've looked at so far has been totally different and unique and has had kind of not only a different style, but different products, different niches, different markets, I guess. And so this is another one that is totally different. And normally I focus on print on demand, but this shop is actually all digital downloads. So this one, Dream Muse Boutique, sells digital products that you can print from home. And so I went ahead and take a look at this. The shop, by the way, is absolutely beautiful. So all of the mock-ups are spot on. They've gone ahead. I can tell that they're paying extra for the sort of that Etsy fee so that you can customize your shop and have different custom colors and the featured sections and all of that. And so what I can see here is this person's been doing this for 5 months now. They've had 3 sales and 1 review. And so remember, when you first start on Etsy, it is slow going. It does take a while to get your first sale and then to start gaining traction. And it does take several reviews before people kind of start trusting you. So this isn't out of the ordinary for what I would expect to see 5 months, not a ton of sales yet. But as I'm looking at these products, there's only 33, which is not a ton, but I can tell that a lot of time and effort went into each individual one. And so we can see some different like wall art, planners, some little like gift tag type stuff, meal planners, Christmas cards. And so these are all really beautiful. They scream Etsy. They definitely have that Etsy feel to them. So at first glance, I mean, this shop looks really nice. They do have their featured items. They do have their sections here on the side. Obviously, their branding is on point. They are running sales, so that all looks good. At 25% off, good sales. And then as I come down here, they've gone ahead and put a ton of effort into, announcements and shop guidelines. And so we can see they put a lot of time and effort into that. They have 1 5-star review. And as I come down more, they've got a whole about section about their shop, which includes photos, personal details. So far, I love all of this. They've made it relatable. She says, "Hi there, I'm Tanya." I mean, so huge sections here, a behind the scenes. I mean, looks really nice. About the owner section. And one thing that I really like is that they are going marketing on social media. So they do have Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. So they are definitely on top of that. And I went ahead, by the way, and looked at their Facebook page too, and that also looks really nice. So when I go onto Facebook, their branding stays on point, right? They've shared their listings here. They've even gone ahead and put some details into this, lots of beautiful pictures. And so we can see that there's a thank you veterans section. They're really on point with their marketing. So I can tell a ton of time went into this shop. And so all of that looks really awesome. So I'm going to go back to their shop here. And I'm going to scroll back up to the top. We'll look at a couple of the listings. What I am noticing is that a lot of them, there's a lot of holiday listings. So a lot of things that are a little bit more Christmassy. And I would go ahead and try to focus more on the evergreens, though I do see a lot of evergreen art here, so that's not bad. But let's go ahead and just pick this top one. And this one got a review. So this one is the one that they got the 5-star review on. And so what we can see, we've got a little video section here, frame not included, more decor. So kind of runs through some of their mock-ups. So very pretty. And I can go ahead and click on any one of these mock-ups. And obviously very beautiful, very Etsy mock-ups. And then I can come down here. They do have some good cards, what you'll receive. So nice detail, and it keeps with their color theme and their branding, how it works. So they give you instructions. It's for personal use only. And then one more card down here. This kind of just shows everything. Right. And so great photo detail. It was delivered rapidly. They would recommend this. Good response. If we come over here to their details section, good details, right? They put in bold so that people know that no items will be physically shipped, right? So very nice. You get the files. They're giving you the aspect ratios and all of that. They're telling you how it works. They're giving you, they don't have a refund, obviously. They even have a Let's Connect section where they put their social media stuff here. So at first glance, this shop is perfect. It's absolutely great. Very good job. Love it. I might go ahead and put a space in between these paragraphs just so that they're spaced out, like the rest of these things are kind of spaced out. It separates it a little bit better. So I would go ahead and just put a space there and there to separate it. But these are all great things. So here is where I think you're going to run into the biggest issue. And now I could be wrong. I don't do a lot of digital products, period. But the ones I do are not what you would consider printables like this. The ones I do are more information driven and can be, used on the computer. But when I think about digital products, there's several kinds that you can do. So ones that a lot of people were doing was creating their own designs, selling them to people that they could print them on shirts. And they were doing that, but allowing people to sell the shirts. So essentially you were selling to the sellers. So you would make a design, like a t-shirt design. A bunch of people would buy it. They'd put it on shirts and sell the shirts. And those, made a lot of sales for a while. Right. Then there's, ones that are more information driven, like courses or books, things that people are going to download and they're going to read it. And then there's ones that are more like mock-ups. So you might buy a mock-up that you're going to use on your store. So again, selling to the sellers. There's a lot of that, selling digital products to sellers. But this is a different category entirely. These are digital products that are meant to be printed by the buyer from home and used strictly by the buyer. Right. So if I wanted, let's say, this wall art here, if I said, I really like that, I want this in my house, I would print this digital file, and then I would download the digital file, but then I would have to actually print this or find a company to print this for me. Most people aren't going to be able to print this big at home. So if I'm looking at wall art, odds are I can't print this myself. So if I really wanted this, I would have to buy this digital product and then find a print company to print it for me. So where I think that you, and I'm talking to the owner of the shop now, would benefit would be to do more physical products, because I think your market is just not big enough. I don't think that there's enough people out there who would be interested in this as wall art and be interested in then going and finding another print company to print it for them. And I could be wrong, because again, this is not my area of specialty, but I think your market size is pretty limited. So I don't think you have a large market of people who are interested in this type of printable, right? If you were to go ahead and take this design that you made, which is a beautiful design, and go ahead and upload it to a print-on-demand company and sell the actual canvas print of that, then people might buy it. They might buy the actual canvas print that would get shipped to them, and they could put it up in their house. And I think that would be easier for customers than buying the digital art and then having to find a print company to print it, if you're following what I'm saying. Another issue I think you might run into in the future is, again, beautiful artwork, and I love it, but AI is starting to take over more and more and more, and whether we like it or not, it won't be long before people can just, the average person can just go ahead and go on an app, say, I want an image of a Highland cow, and they will be able to create this kind of image for themselves at home instantly, in which case they don't need to buy the image from you. They can make it themselves very quickly. But what they can't do is print it, right? So again, that's where you might be better off selling more physical products versus just the digital download. And so that's one thing that I might suggest is a little bit more with the physical products. Again, same thing with these tags, right? Beautiful tags. I took a look at these, right? We've got gorgeous mock-ups, beautiful tags. These are Christmas tags. Nice. You can download this. You could print this at home, and people could print this at home on their own home printer. But then what's going to happen? They're going to have to cut out each one of these tags by hand. And they're not printed like stickers, so these would be tags that you'd have to like tie onto something. So they'd have to cut them out by hand, and then they'd have to have like the string to tie them on. And for $2.99, even though that's pretty cheap, you could go to the store and buy already made, already punched out tags that have the string on them. So again, it's just the market for that. I feel like if you were to do this and you were to actually print it yourself and ship them the physical item, I think you would have a better market. And that's sort of how I feel about a lot of them. Now, this one did get some good views. So you've had 6 views in the last 24 hours, which is nice, but no purchases yet. And again, I'm wondering if that's because, people would then have to print it at home, and then they would have to cut it out, and it just might not be as convenient for them, right? Purchase it, print, download, print. I mean, that's how they all are. And there's a lot. Same thing with the cards. I noticed you sell cards, beautiful cards, right? But again, they'd have to print it on their own. They'd have to have the card stock to print it on their own. And then they'd still have to buy the envelopes if they were going to mail these out. Whereas if you buy a pack of cards from the store, it already comes printed on nice cardstock, and it has the envelopes, and it's ready to mail. So all of these, I'm just thinking the physical product might get more traction than the digital product. One more point I wanted to make. So I was looking at the Highland cow again and scrolling down through the descriptions. All right, so we're getting all these awesome aspect ratios. One printable file. So what we say is file is 300 DPI. So here's where I'm going to say, I am not a trained graphic designer. I am a doctor of physical therapy by trade. But how I've always understood it, and how I've taught it to my print-on-demand people, is that 300 DPI, that is the dots per inch when printed. When we design, like using Canva or whatnot, we're designing in pixels. And the DPI is variable depending on the size in which something is printed. So if I took a 1000 by 1000 pixel design and I printed it on a 5x7, card, it's going to have a higher DPI than if I was to then take that same one and print it on a 10x10 card, because I've got the same number of pixels, but I'm spreading them out over more square inches. And again, if I'm wrong, somebody please email me and, explain this to me better. But I'm not sure how you can say 300 DPI unless you have designed each one of these aspect ratios and each size differently with different pixels. Maybe you did, but otherwise, I'm always like, I would rather know the pixels and what it would print at different sizes than just say file is 300 DPI. And again, I'm not a graphic designer, and if you are and you're using different software than me, again, let me know. On Canva, though, we design with the pixels, and then the DPI is going to depend on the size that we print. So whether I'm printing on a card or a t-shirt or a blanket. So if I'm printing on a blanket, I need a lot more pixels than if I'm printing on like a sticker, for example. So that was just one thing that I wanted to bring up. But beyond that, yes, this shop is doing everything right. You've got your social media, you've got your beautiful mock-ups, very detailed, very thorough descriptions, you're running your sales, you I'm assuming you're doing some sort of marketing. I mean, everything looks really good. I'm just not sure that the market for your shop is big enough. So that is what it boils down to for me, is I'm not sure that there's a large enough market for people who want to buy these things. Again, if you have to print it from home, it becomes a little bit tougher, um, because you need somebody who is willing to print from home or has a print company for some of the larger things, or is willing to cut these out by hand. I mean, it's just not as convenient for the spice jar labels. You would have to print these on a sticker sheet, and then cut out the individual stickers. And so I'm not entirely sure how that would work for printing at home. Um, and then just a lot of artwork, beautiful artwork. But again, I'm worried that some of this artwork might be replicated in the future with AI, to the point where your buyers might not be as amped to buy it as they would to just create their own using AI. And so that is my kind of concern for this shop. Again, I have some digital products. I only sell like 3 digital products on my shop, and they're more information products. So if I was to just jump over to mine real quick. So I'm on the digital section of my shop, and these are my 3 digital products. So I've got my print on demand master course, my niche list, and my beginner's guide to personal finance. And so what these are more information driven. So yes, you can print these, so you're going to get the same digital file. And yes, you can choose to print it if you want to, but you don't need to. You can read the information on the computer. It's not meant to be printed out as something you hang on your wall or something that you gift to somebody in like paper form. So these kinds of digital products are a little bit easier for the customer, because they can just, you know, learn the information essentially. What it's doing is it's taking all this information from different sources and it's pulling it together, in like more of a guide format. So this is the print on demand course that I sell. And yes, you could print it out and you would get this, lovely bunch of papers that's printed. I don't think too many people do, especially with my course, because I use clickable links in it. So for me, I put a bunch of clickable links all throughout the PDF, so that people can go straight to the things I'm talking about. So mine is more information driven, even though it's printer friendly if you wanted to. This one is like 118 pages. I'm not sure people really want to print it, but yeah, 118 printer friendly pages. You can if you want to, but you can also use it very easily on the computer, and it's more information driven. So that is the way that I would go with digital products probably in the future. That would be good. And then I think like mock-ups, if you were somebody who was selling mock-ups to Etsy sellers, those are also doing good, because people are still buying some of those really pretty mock-ups. And even with AI generating the mock-ups, they're not as good yet. But then you could also do mock-up like cards, like size charts and stuff. And so people selling size charts and information cards like that on particular products are doing really well. So that is where I think that digital products are probably going to do best in the future. And again, anybody who's got a comment can put this in the comments section below. I'm always open to feedback and learning new things. But otherwise, I want to say to this person that your shop really is beautiful. And I can tell that you put a lot of time and effort into it, and that you really kind of researched everything, and it is gorgeous. And I think you could take some of these designs and really just sell the actual physical product itself. And even for some of like the journaly kind of stuff, you could go on Amazon KDP, which is their Kindle Direct Publishing, and you could sell these in book form on Amazon, and that you can do for free. So like your cookbook, for example, you could go ahead and take that and literally have it printed as a book that you could sell on Amazon through Amazon KDP. And that's how I might go with some of those books or journals, like the journal pages. That would do really well. I think the reason some people sell these kinds of things is they sell them to people who then want to sell them on KDP as books. So they're selling again to the sellers, not so much for personal use. So anyways, if you have questions about that, again, drop it in the comments section below. If you would like me to look at your shop, go ahead and email me and give me a link to your shop, and I can do that, get you added to my list. Otherwise, I hope you guys are doing really well, and because you were so patient and you did wait until the end of the video, I do have another 5 bonus niches for you. So without any more waiting, these are your 5 bonus niches, and I've gone ahead and done some more Valentine's Day niches for you. So niche number 1, all booked for Valentine's Day. Number 2, sucker for you, and you can do that with an actual sucker. Number 3, you make me melt. I've seen that done with like cute ice cream style designs. Number 4, I love you a latte. Number 5, Cupid's favorite. This says nurse. You can substitute anything. There's a lot of Cupid's favorite teacher, Cupid's favorite nurse, Cupid's favorite bank teller. It doesn't matter. You can pick whatever you want. Cupid's favorite mom. So just be as creative as you want. Throw up a whole bunch of those. Or make it so that it's editable so that people can go ahead and just tell you what word they want and you can put it in there. And so you can make that personalizable too. And so that's another easy way to do it. Again, I hope you're doing really well with your sales. I hope you're continuing to learn new skills, grow your portfolio, and I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.